Do women really own more homes than men? Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a recent study that says single women are purchasing more homes than single men in the US of A. Now, this is a very misleading study in my humble opinion. It may be true that single women at this particular point are purchasing more homes than single men, but that does not mean that women own more homes than men. When you go to a neighborhood, go to a subdivision, and you see houses, what are you going to see? You're not really going to see single people in the house by themselves. You're going to see families. You may see the occasional single person here and there, but it's going to be families. Married couples with men typically being the primary breadwinner. 75% of mothers in this country work, compared to about 90% of fathers. The reality is most homes that are not owned by a corporation or investor or whatever, house flipper, are going to be owned by married couples, men, women, children. That's the reality. This study is presenting a false narrative. And the narrative is, oh, you guys, you men, you just sports betting and playing video games, living in the basement, drinking beer, smoking drugs, and you're not competing with women that are earning you. That's why women are having a hard time being able to stay married, all this, that, and the third. It's ridiculous because, check it out, if the opposite was a narrative, meaning the men own more homes, men out-earn the women, then it would be it's a gender pay gap and income inequality. There's a glass ceiling in the workplace, and men out-earn women, even though they're not really that good of a producer. Women earn 70% of the dollar that a man makes. That'd be the narrative. So these people who are complaining about this, who are pushing this narrative as if men are underperforming, if the opposite were true in their mind, that'd also be a problem. There's never going to be any pleasing these people at all. There's always a problem. Now, this video could have easily been on my secondary channel, Uncle ABL, where I talk about men and women and things of this nature. And if you're not subscribed yet, please do so. Link will be in the box. But it's kind of political, so I got to have it over here to discuss it further. And there's a news clip from CNN or CBS, one of the alphabet letter organizations. Let's go ahead and check this out. If you want to see it in full without my commentary, link as always will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Soaring real estate prices and bidding wars, home ownership can feel like just a dream for many people.
Yeah, but now single women are stepping up and they're moving in, outpacing men in the housing market.
See, that was wrong what she said right there. She said single women are outpacing men. But the reality, the study says single women versus single men, not just men. Because if you just put men and women against each other, there'd be no contest. Men would most certainly be the majority homeowners.
Our Elizabeth Schulte sits down with some of those women behind the recent buying boom.
So this is it?
This is it.
This is your house?
Yes.
Let's see it.
Okay.
After years of paying rent, 30-year-old Kristen Holmes dreamed of walking through the front door of her own home.
It feels like my own.
What was it that made you decide you wanted to buy a house after renting?
I felt like for all the money I was spending on rent, it just made more sense to buy.
Now, as far as that thing about, spending money on rent and buying, it all depends on the situation. It depends what kind of deal you get. It depends on where you are. There's a lot of factors that go into it. And you can't just say, well, I pay rent. Let's say your rent is $1,500 a month or $2,000 a month. Okay, now, do you have enough money to put down on your mortgage? They have programs where they have zero down on your mortgage, which are kind of rare, and I don't recommend you do something like that. But let's say your house costs $400,000 and you need an FHA 3.5%. Do you have $17,000 in cash? In cash, no loan, just in your pocket that you can burn and not miss? Do you have that? No? Okay, well, keep on renting.
And just knowing that my money is going somewhere, it might as well go towards my own investment.
She saved up $80,000 for a down payment. And after
$80,000 for this? Where do you live? You kind of like, it's kind of some hood environments going on here. 80 grand down? That's a lot of money.
For a down payment. And after 3 years of house hunting, finally closed the deal on a fixer-upper in Hyattsville, Maryland.
Oh, Maryland. Okay, Maryland. Yeah, I get it. Now, I'm not quite sure. I think Hyattsville is not that far from D.C. It's probably just inflated prices out there in Hyattsville.
It feels good, especially when I can make decisions. If there's something I don't like, being able to do it myself.
I really think that you picked the right community.
Her realtor, Cheryl Abrams-Davis, says homes is part of a broader trend. Single women scooping up homes for sale.
In 2023, of the people who purchased homes, 6 of the 13 buyers were unmarried women.
So your own data show.
Oh, let's go back a little bit.
Unmarried women.
One more time.
Homes, 6 of the 13 buyers were unmarried women.
Okay.
So your own data shows that about half of people who buy homes are single women.
Data from the National Association of Realtors shows single women were 19%, about 1/5 of all home buyers last year. That's compared to just 10% who were single men.
Now, do married couples. You see, they're not. Okay, so let's do a little bit of math. 19 plus 10 is 29. So where is the rest of the 100? Where is that at? Who is in that group? You're probably going to have married couples as far as normies. Now, we want to put in investors and house flippers and whatnot. You're still going to have majority men. But even without them, it'd be married couples with men being the primary breadwinner.
Why do you think women are outperforming men in home ownership?
They're
A lie. This is a lie. It's a total lie. Like, why would we do this?
more likely to be caregivers. They're more likely to be perhaps a single mom, have a multi-generational home with an elderly relative in it. And so they want a stable residence and to know exactly what their payment is going to be.
Jessica Lautz of the National Association of Realtors says their data shows single women are more likely than men to make financial sacrifices.
Does that mean bad financial decisions, or does it make like financial sacrifices? What does that really mean? Now, I'll tell you one thing. Single men don't really buy houses just for themselves. That's not a thing that we really would do. Unless, again, you're an investor or something like that, or you're just trying to build a portfolio. But to buy a house, to live in it by yourself, that's not really what men do. Men would live in a hovel or a shoe and then stack money. And then when they get married and have a family, now it's time for a house. But not until then. We're more likely to make sound financial decisions. I'm not saying we're all going to do that, but that's the reality of what men typically do. We don't make emotional decisions more than women do.
Like cutting back on non-essential spending or taking on a second job in order to afford a home.
We also know that women are saying it doesn't matter. I don't necessarily have to have a ring to actually have this house that I want.
The diversity of women power in this nation.
Only 50 years ago, women weren't legally allowed to sign their own mortgages. That changed in 1974 under a federal law prohibiting discrimination by lenders on the basis of sex. Today, single women own nearly 11 million homes nationwide.
Now, we've not talked about married couples at all. They don't want to address that topic, and they're not going to talk about it because if they address the married couples, then they're going to see the reality of home ownership. Go to any subdivision in this country, go to any neighborhood with homes in it, and you're going to see the families. It's not going to be single women all over the place. It's going to be married couples, whether they be older with grown kids, whether they be young with little kids, or anything in between. That's going to be the majority. Like where I live right now, my subdivision, it's families. It's families. It's men, women, and children. It's not a bunch. It's not single women. It's not single men. I'm one of the few single men. I might be the only single man in the whole place. And I was married.
It's really cool for me to now be a homeowner and kind of see everything my mother and my grandmother worked hard for to create a legacy in our family.
At the age of 24, Kyla Wright bought her first home for about $100,000 in a suburb of Detroit.
People were asking, well, what if you want to move again? Well, I just rent it out.
But the process wasn't easy. Wright says she put in about 20 offers before closing on the sale.
I fell in love with some houses I liked. I didn't get them.
It's a familiar challenge for Brandy Solito in Connecticut.
Everything that we fall in love with and I get excited about, we get outbid immediately.
She's struggling to...
Now, who is we? Because I'm hearing more than one person, but I thought it was about single women. So what does we mean?
Get a foothold in the market because of a lack of affordable homes for sale and high interest rates.
Interest right now is killing my bottom line.
Why do you think you were able to successfully buy a house at age 30? So many people right now are struggling to even think about making that kind of an investment?
I think the first thing is having a plan, each month saving a little bit more, and also working with lenders and understanding what goes behind buying a home is what led me to it. My mom always says, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
You made a plan and stuck with it.
Yes, definitely.
Mama's right.
Mama always has the best advice. And our thanks to Elizabeth Schulze for that report.
All right, there we have it. A bunch of lies from the mainstream media again talking about, oh, the women are outpacing the men. Really? They said 11% or 19% of homes are purchased by single unmarried women, if I'm remembering that correctly, compared to 11% of single men. Okay, 29%. So you're still missing, what's that, 71? Quick math right quick. So, like, who's accounted for in the 71? We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to approach that. You're going to have married couples being the majority of your homeowners as far as regular single normies. Then you're going to have real estate investors, and you're going to have corporations and things of this nature. And who's going to be the people that are buying homes under that situation? Who is the CEO of BlackRock? Who are their main house flippers? When you're looking at your HD TVs and whatnot, you're going to see women in there doing a lot of the decoration and things of this nature, and the men doing the construction, having the money, flipping the homes. That's just what it is. Not all the time, but the majority of the time, which makes men the majority homeowners in this country, contrary to what they want to tell you in mainstream media, on the news, etc. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that men are the majority homeowners, married couples, single women, whatever your thoughts are? Let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. Last time I checked, 19% did not make you the majority. It didn't make you the leader out of 100. So who is the actual homeowner? I think we know the answer to that. And I think we know the media lies for, I don't even know the reason. Was it International Women's Month or something like that? We got to just push forward lies about women. Why not push forward positive things, real things, instead of lies? It's just really crazy to me. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.